This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Vinay Kumar, journalist.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed his compatriots on Mann Ki Baat over All India Radio. It was 94th edition of Mann Ki Baat this Sunday. Prime Minister Modi touched upon a range of subjects, starting from Chhath Festival, solar power, National Unity Day, Guru Purab, which is falling on 8th of November. He paid tributes to Birsa Munda. He touched upon the need to protect environment, and he called for Mission Life movement, and he wanted citizens to have sensitivity towards environment, and also spoke to residents of village Modhera, which is now fully powered by solar power. Tandon Sahab, if we see Prime Minister's stress today in his assertion that India has become one of the biggest countries to generate electricity from solar energy, that is, I think, the need of the hour. And India is already part of International Solar Alliance. And this is going to be the next level where we can really address our energy needs.
Vinay, have you noticed one thing? A very striking feature of Prime Minister Mann Ki Baat, and invariably in every episode, is that during the 30-minute Mann Ki Baat, he will take the countrymen, his listeners, throughout the length and breadth of the nation. Hardly any state is left when he talks about the cultural heritage, the coming festival, paying tributes to great sons and daughters of India, or the achievements of modern India in building new Bharat. And that seems to be a very significant thing, that in 30 minutes he will take us to all parts of India. Look at today's Mann Ki Baat. And he started with Chhath Puja, which of course is a grand event which is being celebrated. He said, no, the Chhath Puja is not confined only to Bihar or Eastern India. Wherever people from these regions have gone, Chhath is now being celebrated with great fervor. And he named the states in India which are now celebrating the Chhath Puja, apart from UP, Bihar, and even in Mumbai, even in Gujarat, of course, we know in Delhi, Punjab, Haryana. So this particular event is so important that now it is becoming a national event. And then he says, when we see such grand pictures of Chhath Puja being celebrated in foreign countries also, and that means Indian culture and its faith is making a mark in all corners of the world, leave aside India. And then he gave the significance of Chhath Puja to the younger generation who may not be knowing, particularly people in other parts of the country where Chhath Puja is not well known, that a sun god is worshipped on this occasion. And then from there, he took you and immediately started talking about the solar energy. And as you also very rightly mentioned, the renewable solar energy is a domain where the entire world sees its future. India is one of the leading nations in solar power generation, which is a great thing. And because we were not pioneer in the solar energy in the beginning, now we are catching up, and huge investments are coming into India by our Indian entrepreneurs into solar energy. Therefore, from Chhath Puja, he goes to solar energy. He has given in detail. He talked about as you also mentioned, Modhera village in Gujarat. Almost every house uses solar energy to fulfill their electricity needs. Not only, they are even having surplus and earning money from there. And then he comes to space. Then he enters the space area and space sector. The whole world today is astonished to see the achievements of India in space sector. So I think touching upon different subjects, PM never forgets to mention the achievements of India in different sectors and also the areas in which these achievements are being accomplished.
And Mr. Tandon, when we talk about solar energy, we must also keep in mind that when Prime Minister said that the whole world is looking at solar energy now as the future, It is noteworthy that Indian government had kept the target of generating 20 gigawatts for 2022, which we have already achieved 4 years ahead of schedule. So this is also very remarkable. India is now fourth globally in solar power generation, and India is endowed with a lot of potential for generation of solar energy. And incidentally, you mentioned several states. Just looking up at some reference material, I found that Karnataka is the number one state in generation of solar power, followed by Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. ISRO feat also, you said, from solar energy to space sector, because ISRO achieved this remarkable feat of sending 36 heavy satellites in space this time on Diwali Day. So that was also not only our victory in cricket and having an Indian origin Prime Minister in the UK, our feats at home are also quite remarkable in this context.
He specifically mentioned the solar village there in Gujarat, where recently even the UN Secretary General also visited. And he was also pleasantly surprised to see that a small village is now a hub of the solar energy production in India. And then he also talked to the villagers in that particular village, which is now known as Surya Gram. Surya Grams in India, PM said, will become a big mass movement. And the people of Madeira village have already begun that mass movement. I think the solar energy emphasis was the major takeaway of today's Mann Ki Baat.
Mr. Zandan, Prime Minister also stressed upon this mission life movement and lifestyle for environment, to protect environment. And he also wanted the citizens to develop sensitivity towards environment. And we have seen that, as you rightly mentioned, about Swachhata Abhiyan, the cleanliness drive which began with his first term in office as Prime Minister. It has continued, and we are now seeing results in several areas. But this environment protection is also a very, very crucial and very key area. If we have clean environment, clean air, clean water, clean energy, that is the need of the hour. And the solar energy does not generate any kind of pollution. And we can't go on depending upon fossil fuels. These traditional fuels and sources of energy will run out very soon. So that is also very important, that we must turn to these renewable sources of energy. In keeping with that, I think this Mission Life movement is also very important, where he talks about the sensitivity to protect environment at all costs. Whether it is his call for giving up use of plastic, keeping your beaches clean, keeping your streets clean, having a bathroom in each and every village. So this overall emphasis on, as you pointed out, on Chhath festival, people celebrate and worship the sun god. Then with this is linked solar energy and environment. All three aspects are interlinked.
Of course, while talking about the innovation, the Prime Minister reminded that during his address to the nation from the ramparts of the Red Fort, he has given a new slogan, Jai Anusandhan. And he said, as a follow-up of this call, and he had also described the decade as the decade of India, he said he is very pleasantly surprised and happy that of India's IIT students have taken over this particular issue as an initiative. This month, on 14th and 15th of October, all 23 IITs came on one platform for the first time to showcase their innovations and research projects. In this particular fair, students and researchers who came from all over the country, they displayed more than 75 best products, these concerning healthcare, agriculture, robotics, semiconductors, 5G, communications. These projects were made on many such themes. And he said that these projects are, in a way, some of them are better than the other. Just the example that a team from the IIT Bhubaneswar has developed a portable ventilator for newly born babies. It runs on battery and can be used easily in remote areas. He said this can prove to be very helpful in saving the lives of babies who are born prematurely. Similarly, he said, the electric mobility, drone technology, 5G, many of our IIT students are engaged in developing new technologies related to them. So that way, when he talks of the cultural heritage, the development in agriculture at space and many areas, he never forgets to talk about modernization, technological revolution, which in India it is taking place. And in that context, he said that he hoped that taking inspiration from these IIT, other institutions all over the country will also step up their R&D activities. That was very significant thing. And again, if we continue like that, as you also very rightly mentioned, sensitivity towards environment is embedded in every particle of our society, and we can feel it all around. So there is no dearth of people in the country who spend a lifetime in protection of the environment. So environment emphasis invariably we have found is mentioned in practically every episode of Mann Ki Baat.
On 31st of October, India will also celebrate the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So Modi government had started Run for Unity after it took office in 2014. So it is now celebrated as National Unity Day. So there also Prime Minister mentioned this as it will be a fitting tribute to Sardar Patel, who brought the unification of India by having all states coming to form Indian Union. So this is also a fitting tribute, I think, to the memory of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who achieved this Herculean task at the time of independence.
Of course, as you mentioned, Run for Unity is being organized in every corner of the country, and this strengthens not only the thread of unity in a country, but it inspires the youth. And then he mentioned the national games, which were held in Gujarat recently with the theme Judega India to Jeetega India. And national games specifically mentioned, and it has given a strong message of unity. And on the other hand, it has promoted India's sports culture. And he shared with the countrymen that the national games this time was the biggest ever event organized in India. 36 sports were included in it, in which 7 new and 2 indigenous competitions, Yogasan and Malkham, were also included. And the 3 teams that were at the fore and winning the gold medal are Services team, Maharashtra and Haryana team. 6 national records and about 60 national game records were also made in this game. And he congratulated all the sportspersons who have won it. And again, I would mention that emphasis on sports promotion has always been a part of the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat, because on various occasions, the Indian players have been doing extremely well, winning medals, winning series. So therefore, obviously, they will find a mention in Prime Minister's every Mann Ki Baat, and that is exactly what has happened. And as you also said, Janajatiya Gaurav Divas will be celebrating on the 15th of November, and in that context, he paid tribute to Bhagwan Birsa Munda, who united millions of people against the British Empire in a short span of life. He sacrificed his life to protect India's independence, and that is why he is Dharti Aba, Bhagwan Birsa Munda, and that is how PM has been paying tribute to Birsa Munda. Even last year also he did it. So there is a sense of duty for the motherland in this sentence, and there is also a feeling of our duty for the environment when he talks about paying tribute to Birsa Munda. So that is exactly the way he touches upon with the people, connects with the people in the tribal belt also. And he again mentioned in that border of Gujarat and Rajasthan, a special place in India's freedom struggle, because there was a terrible massacre here in November 1913 in which the British brutally murdered the local tribals, and more than 1,000 tribals lost their lives. So that was also a way of paying tribute to the tribal. The movement was spearheaded by Govind Guruji, whose life is an inspiration to everyone, and he paid tribute to not only Govind Guruji, Birsa Munda and other freedom fighters during the Amrit Kal, the more our country will touch their heights.
Mr. Tandon, as you rightly pointed out, Prime Minister always makes it a point in his Mann Ki Baat address. In half an hour, he takes listeners across states in India and touches upon cultural heritage, modern achievements, innovations, and also stresses upon 1 or 2 aspects which are very crucial for the country's development. Thank you, Mr. Tandon, for this discussion.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Vinay Kumar, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.